Hey gang, Mocha Boy here. Welcome back, and thanks for tuning back in. So today we're going to be doing the last follow-up from the base design video series. The longer these videos are out there, it's just a matter of time before somebody finds them and can fully scout out the base and then just go ahead and restart. But I did want to keep it out there as long as possible, just to help illustrate some of the design concepts that I was suggesting. And there were some very cool things that came out of some very cool discoveries that came out of the looking at the replay. So I wanted to cover some of those here, but really quickly, the first matchup that we had in the TH10 boot camp, this was, let's see, it took them in the first war, let's see, one, two, okay, so in the first war it drew 2 attacks, and both of them were Town Hall 10 attacks on my base, and they were only able to get 62% and 50% on the first run. But in the second hang on a second here. In the second run, only lost by a point. It's so painful. And this was the one that I really wanted to pay attention to. Was in this war, my base drew 3 attacks, and it took them 3 tries to finally 2-star the base. And every one of them, one was complete and outright fail. The other one, they were able to get 1 star on the base, but the second one they were finally able to get about 68%. But it took them 3 tries to get that far. Now, before I show you the replays, there are a couple of things that I want to point out about the design of the base that was really interesting. Now, there's a lot of debate around the power of using a symmetrical base versus an asymmetrical base. So a symmetrical base is where basically it's the same number of defenses and the same number of features, everything. It's basically like a mirror. Each side is a mirror of the other. That's what a symmetrical base is. That makes it tricky for attackers to attack because they have to choose a side to attack, and you never know which side to defend. And part of the problem with using a symmetrical base in that respect is that you kind of have to spread out all of your defenses, your traps and everything. And so instead of taking them and say defending one side, you take a quarter of them and defend just a quarter of the base. And that rarely ever works out in practice because again, you don't want to. Those traps work really well when you gang them together, but when you start to split them up, that's when you start to run into problems. So I like to do things like double up spring traps, double up air bombs, double up even the smart bombs. So, but as far as the concepts that I wanted to talk about today, so first let's talk about the trigger range. Now, the trigger range for your CC is one of the most important things that you have to design to, and by that I mean take a look at where this archer tower rests, just on the edge of that trigger range. That means if anything comes into here, and this includes loons, if anything comes into here, they've got to breach this trigger range before they actually trigger the CC. And part of the issue here with this is that if anyone tried to come in here with just 2 loons, between the archer tower and then this air bomb, that's enough to take them both out. And then if there is anything left, if they try to come in from another side, that's what the second air bomb is for. Now, what's interesting about this is that this one particular defense is a bait. It's intentionally put out there to bait a lure. And one of the other design considerations that I made was I took this archer tower, this air defense, and I moved it just inside once. Just inside one set of tiles. And what that does, at least to somebody who's scoping out the base, it says, to them, they would look at this and say, oh, well, I can just drop a couple loons on this archer tower and be able to take that out. And that's actually not the case. Again, this is kind of the concept of luring the lure. You're building what looks like a weakness into your base when in fact it's actually just something to lure some of their troops in. And you're going to see this in one of the attacks. They did try to balloon this one particular archer tower, and between that air bomb, and that smart bomb, they were able to completely defeat that lure. And the other thing was, again, look at this cannon and look at how it is right on the edge of that trigger range. Anything jumping inside of this wall will not trigger the CC, and you're going to see another example of that too. The last thing I also wanted to talk about was what was really interesting was this base actually defended against quad hound, and I was a little iffy as to whether or not it might actually work, but there was one thing that made this work the way that it did, and that was having my archer queen flanked by both air defenses as well as just a couple of backup point defenses. The lava hounds that came into here got absolutely decimated by these overlapping air defenses, as well as the Archer Queen, which in herself is a mobile air defense, and then some additional point defenses. The other side of the base was some of the smart bombs were able to pick up those lava hounds, but all you have to do is defeat 2 of them, and because of that, the Archer Queen was able to survive and take out the rest of the loons for that attack. So let's go ahead and watch some of those replays so that I can show you exactly how this went down. Details. View map, war results. Sorry. War events. Okay, so the first attack was an outright fail, and this guy was going to try to go-ho the base. Now watch the lure come in from the bottom. Oh, from the right-hand side. So right off the bat, the air bombs and smart bombs take out the lure, and he's already lost one opportunity to get the CC pulled out. He pulls in his balloons for another try, but this is backed up. This archer tower is backed up by an air defense, so he had no chance of luring anything out from there. So at this point, he's panicking, and you just start to see the raid start at this point. But with the CC not pulled out, there's not much left for him to do other than just deploy everything and hope and pray. But because of the way that the defenses as well as the path into the Archer Queen are laid out, because I built this base specifically with the intention of pulling in an AQ kill team into a pocket, and just decimate them either with splash defenses or really fast and high-powered point defenses. And that's exactly what happened here. Between the clan castle as well as the splash defenses, that entire kill team got decimated on the way in. And then once the hogs hit the internal double bombs, they were cooked, as well as the double Teslas in the core, and that was just an outright fail there. So the second raid, let's see, the second raid was from Black Mamba. This was another TH9 attack on the base. And he tried to send in hogs for the lures. That's 4 hogs. Typically that would work, but in this case there were so many overlapping defenses that those hogs got absolutely destroyed before they could do anything. But notice, they took out that defense, but they still didn't pull out the clan castle. So that works for these 3 defenses here. You have to take out those defenses plus punch in a little further before the CC actually triggers. So at this point, this is just a regular go wipe raid, and this base is built to defend against go wipe. A lot of the defensive placements as well as trap placements are designed to pull everything away from the core. And let's see. So again, yeah, without being able to pull the CC out, they're there to wipe out the DPS. The tanks make it through, but the DPS get soaked up by the bombs as well as the CC. And at that point, this is pretty much over. They do manage to pull into the town hall, but they just don't have enough. They just don't have enough offensive power left at this point to go in and punch even further into the base. So that was a fantastic defensive win there. Now the third attack. Let's go take a look at the third attack. On the third attack, this was their other Town Hall 9. Let's see, Zappa. This was their third Town Hall 9. They were finally able to get in there for... okay, so this was a quad hound attack. He got so lucky on this, my gosh. But what I want you to pay attention to is watch the Archer Queen and watch the right-hand side. Watch the right-hand side of the base. This is one of the things that I was talking about, one of the suggestions that I had made about loading up all of your air bombs on one side of the base. It's better to defend one side of the base than it is to kind of defend 4 sides of the base. But between the point defenses, air defenses, as well as the Archer Queen, I mean, they absolutely just destroyed this one half of the raid. And the remaining defenses, this one remaining air defense was able to take out the rest. Now he did have an AQ-20 that did survive, that he held out towards the end, and she was able to get in there and sneak in a snipe on the town hall. So that was unfortunate. I mean, at this point I was like, yes, I defended again, but that wasn't the case, unfortunately. And he was able to sneak in there for the 2-star. So I mean, as far as a defensive configuration is concerned, I would say that this worked, but one of the things that I'm going to be considering again is going to be the trap placement against air attacks, as well as flanking each of those air defenses with the AQ to help out with defending the base. So yeah, that's it. Again, those were some of the key considerations here you want to take away from again, and let's go back to the base design. When you're designing your base, space inside the base is okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having additional space inside of your base, even at the expense of overlapping defenses. But if you can get it so that your defenses are just on the edge of this trigger range, none of these, attacking any of these defenses won't result in a trigger, and in a lot of cases you'll be able to defeat that lure, especially if it's a ground attack or if it's an air attack, before they ever punch in further into the base. As far as brute force, pretty much the way that you would come into this base is to just brute force it from the top or from one of the sides. So that is about it. I hope you guys found this helpful. I mean, obviously with all of these videos out, this base's usefulness is going to be outlived pretty soon, but I thought it was pretty important to just kind of follow up to show you how some of those defensive placements worked out, and maybe you could take some of those and incorporate them into your own base design. So hope you thought that was helpful, and looking forward to putting more designs out there. Take care.